I need to put the disclaimer up. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Okay, well, it's going to be pretty short because nothing super crazy has happened overnight. The E-mini did come down at the end of the day there, but it's still positive. Here you can see after lunch they came down in value, and they're just kind of holding it around here. Bears may decide to try and come in here. We'll see. If they do, they could push Treasuries back up for sure. And we are kind of here at this 0.75 is a very long-term key technical level that has acted as support and resistance numerous times this year. So we may have some setups, but we'll see. There's some news at 7:30. 6:30 my time, 8:30 Eastern time. And that would include import prices and unemployment claims. So, a little bit of news. The liquidity still looks fairly light, not as bad as it was yesterday, but still fairly light. There are some big orders below us, so we'll see what happens. But for now, we're just gonna post the links and wait. All right. Yeah, good morning. I see there's already a good number of people on the stream today, so maybe we're going to have an interesting day today. We'll see. Got 3 on Twitch. We usually don't have very many on Twitch. Most people watch on YouTube, but we appreciate those of you that are watching on Twitch and helping build up our community on Twitch. It helps. you just click that follow button. That helps a lot too. If we can get that followers up over 100, I think we get some perks. Don't bother subscribing though. I don't need the Twitch subscription money, whatever, blah blah blah. Save it for some other poor streamer that needs it. So I'm noticing there is a slightly large order above us at 035 in the 5-year. Now that's just one tick outside of the range, so that might be why that is. But there are some There's also this at 10.5, so there are some indications that people want this to move up. And the book here on absorption in the 10-year, since we've been looking at it, is positive, and we have actually seen some buying. If I look at this one, the total, you can see that there was a little bit of buying here. So I'm a little concerned that bears are going to come in today. They're going to see their opportunity, and if the E-mini isn't able to get above this 2672 that it set overnight, then I think that bears could come in very aggressively and try and take us into a downturn again. So, yeah, I'm kind of a little concerned. We have the news. I mean, it's about 2 minutes here. By the way, why am I not getting the squawk here? I guess I didn't actually turn the volume on it. Oh, I didn't even turn it on. And the volume was off. Okay. So 1 minute. 1 minute.
Seconds to the data. Input prices fell by 1.6%. Export prices down by 0.9%. We saw jobless claim, initial jobless claims 206,000, dropping 233,000. Continuing claims coming at 1.661 million versus 1.636 million. Canadian new housing index, price index flat on the month. To recap, then we see import prices down 1.6% on the month over month. Import prices year over year rose by just 0.7%, 3.3% figure last month. Export prices come in down 0.9%, deeper than the 0.5% gain seen last month, revised from 0.4.
Okay, so unemployment claims were okay. 206 versus 226. Negative 1.6 versus 1 for import prices.
3,000 last. The 4-week average now at 224,000, 228,500. Facing
big order below us. Some absorption here at 07.5. This is why I took it. And the other things that I'm seeing that indicates there might be some buying coming in to the market. Now there's this 2026 that's showing up here in the 5-year. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, news. Carlsberg, well, please for the price fixing probe.
Could tick up there in the 30-year.
Strong enough starts his
So I did not realize that it was the ECB press conference, but it is there. Do I have the link here? Let's search for him on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I don't have a link this time, guys. I like the way it ticks up, though. Dutch PM Rutte, nobody in their right mind in the EU wants to trigger the Irish backstop. Okay. Sure seems like a lot of hoopla over something that's never going to get triggered, but...
Coming information weaker than expected, says Draghi.
Weaker than expected. Well, that 130, that 13 in the 5 year is not pulling yet. Come on. There you go.
Line strength of domestic demand underpins inflation. Gradually rising inflation pressures. Significant monetary policy stimulus still required. Merkel, I don't think we can change the Brexit agreement. Latest data surveys weaker than expected, says Draghi. There's slower growth momentum ahead.
Okay, that was interesting. Somebody just dumped a ton. Something that it's probably something that Draghi said there, but what he said didn't
1.7% growth rate seen versus 1.8 previously in 2019.
doesn't is not in line with selling.
Risk is moving to the downside, says Draghi.
Okay, so the E-mini is moving up there. Still not seeing these offers really pull in the 5-year. The 10-year is okay. The 30-year is okay. This one is not showing it's okay to go up yet.
Inflation remains mooted, said Draghi. The lower growth inflation forecast to 1.6 for next year, 1.7 for 2020, 0.8% for initial projections for 2021.
Okay, well, those offers in the 5 year did eventually give way. Happened at yesterday's settlement. Could be a test trying to break the level. Could be. There was somebody was there waiting to get to take it, and they took it though. So this oh nine half area is kind of an area of significant resistance on the 10 year. Once you get past that, I don't really see a whole lot to stop us. The 5 year is putting up an aggressive bid now too. If we actually get up to my auto profit, I may have to move it.
Get more reinvestment details released at after the press conference, 2:30 GMT, 15:30 CET.
Okay. So you're getting significant ticks back and forth now, both ways. It kind of looks like they're wiggling it around, trying to work something.
Now, Iran is delaying cargo loadings due to ships as India's 276,000 barrels per day of Iranian oil in November.
Hmm. Notice how there are now orders building just above the high. Like this 12. It's very subtle. Maybe only 3 to 500, but they've added up there. So let's move ours to there, but we might actually end up taking 09 half, depending on how it behaves here. Okay. Well, it's not a strong bid that's holding, but the other two seem to be keeping it there. They also don't look done in the E-mini.
Why was the recovery still in place, says Draghi?
Yeah.
Raising Beaumont Tech refinery production level after restart.
Well, they're holding the level, so but they're not getting through. I mean, like they're trading into 10, but they're not pushing through it, and the level was 09.5. So I think at the very least my level was wrong. It's not as significant of a spot as I thought. There is still a fairly big offer here in the 5-year. Profit taking, I'm not sure. That. Well, quite a bit that traded there into 10.
Overall, atmosphere characterized by increased general uncertainty. Draghi.
Increased uncertainty, isn't that the markets all the time, though? Continued confidence with increasing caution. Draghi definitely has a way with words. Yeah, I have to say, like when you look at our Fed president, Powell, he seems very, very smart guy, and I think that he's in there because he is the best economist that they have. But he does not really have a way with words, does he? And he doesn't know how to sweet talk the market. Yellen kind of knew how to, and Bernanke in particular really knew how, was really careful with what they said, and kind of sweet talked the market. Oh, don't worry, baby. Interest rates will be low forever. Okay. Well, 095 going off for there a little bit for a little bit is not.
Kurt's pretty much saying what we heard before about Brexit.
Not super encouraging, but I it's not like definitive. E-mini has kind of come off here a little bit, and it's just fine. I mean, like this, that hasn't affected us over here on their way up. Even though when we were moving down, it didn't necessarily like move us over here super huge. Hmm. So seeing kind of an odd trickle here. See them?
He did discuss time frame for extended period.
Hmm. Well, that was not how I expected to get bought. Now I want it back. Ten was a resistance from yesterday. Okay. I think that that's the sell program. Because of the disjointed like when it comes through, you'll see like 23, 13, and it'll be like a clump of them all come through at once. That's a firm of some sort. That's a firm of some sort splitting their lots. Need to get rid of dems. I mean, I'd like to get back in, but I just the things that I'm looking for on my strategy wise says that I have to get out there. We had a I caught a good move. We had a good move up, and now we're distributing around 10 and I have to take it off. Hello, Senior Sov. How are you? Oh wait, is that Serenity Sov? Serenity Sov. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could still be in. I think that they're gonna break. I think they're gonna break the high. Well, the E-mini is coming back quite a bit here. In fact, they're making a really good bull run that looks like they're gonna break the last swing. And yet Treasuries still look bid to me. The absorption is still on the buy side too. Kind of curious. Oh, there they bought 10.5. Did not take much at all.
Decision on reinvestments was unanimous.
I guess the other thing is that my theory was that people were buying treasuries because bears were planning on making a run in the E-mini. Now the E-mini has come back almost completely, and treasuries still remain bid. That is not in line. I mean, it's still good. Holy shit. Okay. Well, you could frankly buy that at 11 right there. It could be a trick, but after a push like that, and to see them stacking it like that. The E-mini also ran into a pretty solid wall there. I don't know. Still don't like the way that the correlation is going though. I would have liked to have seen treasuries come back a little bit when the E-mini moved up. It's kind of doing this thing where it's like a zipper and then there's like a gap out of it. And we've seen that many, many times this week and it reverse.
With the IRNA.
Hmm. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Kind of a few things that I'm seeing that I'm just not terribly enthusiastic about.
Oil Minister Iran will be staying in OPEC.
Hmm. Wow. So they sold 10.5 and then they hit in 10. Oh, look, and then they bought 10 and 09.5 pulled. So 10 pulled and now 09.5 is pulling. There's 5K at 09, which is the bear case in the E-mini does not look as strong either, because they did beat out the last swing. They did make a new high there. And it's a bit of a volume starting to build up at 09 now too. Okay, well, it looks a little bit more balanced here, and this is where we've been for a long time. That's interesting. I said, I've seen that. We're in a range. They kick it up 2 ticks, trying to pop it up out of the range, and it just reverses on you. I've seen that so many times this week. Yep, now they're hitting into 0.95. But what's going to happen when they get to 0.9? Pope says migrant rights trump national security. Well, that is kind of an odd thing for a pope to say. That is not what I would expect a pope to talk about. I mean, I know that he thinks he believes in strongly in like the whole migrant thing, but like to say that this should be more important than this is not. Quite frankly, it's not his place to be talking about, but that's just my opinion. Well, now they took 09 all at once and offered 2 on it. It really came back. It's interesting that the equity indexes and energy channels are starting to become more active on our Discord than the interest rate channel. All it took was a few of you guys starting to chat in there, and all of a sudden everybody wants to talk there and trade oil. Okay, 085 is the VWAP. Now look at this. See this little build in liquidity here? We're not quite through it, but we almost are. If we out on this one, I like that. You can actually see in the 30-year a line in the level 2 right where it changed. Same in the 5. You see that? That's super interesting. See, there's a line right there. I'm drawing it. You see it? Liquidity is a little bit light. Perhaps that's why the change is so clear. Because normally it would get hidden by the larger liquidity on the market. Should have that, a shame that we didn't go short. But there was no way that I was going to sell that. Like, that's reversal, morning contract rollover date. Oh yes, in the E-mini it is the contract rollover date. You're right. In fact, I should just go ahead and do it over here, huh? Database management. Actually, a bunch of them roll over today. Like the metals do it too. Okay. ES 319. So what does the liquidity on the March contract look like? It's still loading the data for that instrument. Okay. So it's not quite as thick. They're still trading the... I guess that generally tends to be the case in the mini, huh? they'll trade it till the very last day. So let's switch it back for now. And they're putting 60s on those. And 30s. So, yeah, the liquidity is still in December. We'll keep it in December. Yeah, completely shifted. But they kind of stopped and turned around. So, I don't know. I'm kind of hands off now. Like I made a good 5 tick winner there, and um, I had a good thesis, and it turned, and I saw the order flow. Now it looks like what happened was my read of the order flow was good, and that's why I got a good trade. But the overall thesis doesn't seem to be playing out, and so I'm not really sure what it's going to do. For all I know, it's going to range there. Although they did stop well short of the opening price and the last swing lows. So there is a possibility that they just swing right back up there. Yeah, I don't know.
Bit of geopolitical news now. Way case. Energy News Now. Qatar 2019 budget is targeting $55 per barrel for the price.
Well, they had a little bit of an impulse up, and now they're coming back down. I don't know, guys. Let's switch this one back over. Back up. Interesting.
Regular QE toolbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of hard to read what it's doing here. It seems like they're doing something here with it, but I'm not sure what it is. Only that they really sold off from this level.
So it's the end of ECB Draghi's press conference.
Hmm. Well, they're developing a pretty solid range here. 9 and wait. So Okay, 1 minute to the E-mini going live. Interesting, we haven't heard anything from our squawk in a while.
German Labour Party saying
Okay.
ECB is saying the ECB capital key public sector program. See information on this released on their to temporary deviations and across jurisdictions will continue to be stock. But ECB adjustment gradual. Have put the course ECB parameters. That's it. Program on our board. The examiner will possible. Food in.
What, the French toast? I don't know. I was expecting the Bears to try and come in today, but as of yet it hasn't happened. It kind of seems to me that the move up in Treasuries was due to the ECB press conference, and I just got lucky on that trade because I'm just not seeing the anything that would indicate that the sellers are actually going to come in here with a vengeance yet. I mean, it may still happen, and the treasuries are still higher than they were, because remember when I got in, that was like 0.75 and I got out at 10. So I don't know. Well, there's a little bit of selling. I guess it's a little bit too early to be making too many conclusions, right? And we're only 3 minutes into the equities open. It's just some of the things that I was making me say, like, the bears might come in here. The chart patterns and flow and stuff like that have all been invalidated over that first hour of trading. So I'm really unsure what it's going to do from here. That's why I'm just kind of sitting on my hands and being like super quiet, because I'm kind of like don't even want to watch it. Because I'm afraid that I'll just read way too much into what's happening. Oh, Donald Trump tweeted a bunch of stuff here an hour ago. What did he say? I never directed Michael Cohen to break the law. He was a lawyer and he was supposed to know the law. It is called advice of counsel, and a lawyer has great liability if a mistake is made. That is why they get paid. Despite that, many campaign finance lawyers have strongly stated that I did nothing wrong with respect to the campaign finance laws, if they even apply, because this was not campaign finance. Cohen was guilty on many charges unrelated to me, but he pled to 2 campaign charges which were not criminal and of which he was probably not guilty even on a civil basis. Those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence, which he did, including the fact that his family was temporarily let off the hook. As a lawyer, Michael has a great liability to me. So that statement is a prepared statement. He did not write that. He does not talk that way. So that was a prepared statement by their lawyers, but it is correct. As at least it goes with my understanding of the law, which is that Donald Trump is not necessarily on the hook for this. We'll see. I think they're going to go after him. I think those guys in New York are going to do whatever they can.
Irish PM Radka citing backstop horrible. The deal has to be.
It would be inoperable if there was an expiration date, even if that expiration date was like 20 years in the future. That's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, I know I'm talking about something I don't really understand completely, but that just doesn't sound right to me. You can't sit down and say, this backstop needs to be in there for the next 100 years. That's silly. There should be an expiration date on it. Why don't they want the expiration date? You're so sure that you're never going to use it. Shouldn't it be like we have this temporary transition period of 5 to 10 years and then it's done? Doesn't make sense. That I don't think they're being honest with me. You know what I mean? What do we got here? I'm sorry, I've been... ASIC is short and crude. Yeah, what has crude been doing today? Oh, it's a little bit down. Yeah, I don't know. They were saying, though, I heard something on the Squawk earlier about transports being, like, delayed and stuff. I think that was why there's been a little bit of a move up in this morning in oil. Just slight. I haven't really gotten going yet, have they? Okay, well, the E-mini moved up there, and there was some blocks, and I'm seeing some really significant liquidity down here. Hmm. 5-year is just bracketed. Reset it to here at least. Same with the 30. 30 is bracketed, but overall the volume is, the liquidity is above us, and that was all put there after we moved down. What is your percent of winning trades and profit factor? That's a good question. I haven't looked at that in a while. I go through different periods, right? So I have to come over here to do it. I'm going to guess that it's close to 50% right now. Maybe actually a little bit higher because I've taken a lot of like one tick trades. I've done better this week than I thought. Ooh, stats. Yeah. So this is just this week, right? I think that's just this week from the 7th. So it includes Friday. Oops. Yeah, so because I have so many like one tick trades, my win rate is like 76%. See, my hold time is much shorter than it's been. Now, if I come up here and I change this to this month, I think we're still doing okay. Yeah. Had a good day, one of those days. But I think our win rate's going to be, it's still 75%. Yeah, okay. That's unusually high, and I have been trading a little bit different. So if you were to look further back, past the last set of adjustments, it's not nearly as high. So I think if I just showed you, let's do it. Let's compare it to the 2 weeks previous to that. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so you can see that the 2 weeks previous to that, I did not do really very well. And my win rate was not even close. Oh wait, was I reading that wrong? Yeah, how the stats thing like disappears and comes back. Oh, yeah, before that it was like not even 25% that were when it was like really, really bad. So there's periods, and what you find that will happen with my method of trading is that there are some kinds of markets where it works really, really well, and there are some kinds of markets where it does not work at all. And we've done some things to kind of alleviate that a little bit, so we're more aware of when it works and when it doesn't. How it does look like that buy was there. I was thinking about buying it at 085, but then when it went down, I didn't like it anymore, so I kind of distracted myself and gave up on it, but I should have stuck with it. I have a very good attention span this week. Anyways, I don't know, does that answer the question? Yeah. Well, 50% is good. I'm usually between 40 and 52, generally speaking. But the problem that you'll get when what often happens to me though is if it's below 40, then we're not profitable, and or you start to get like the winners are too small and the losers are too big. That happens too. Lately, I've been lucky. I've just been much better. I did this experiment. So during the period where I did like really poorly last month, I was doing a little bit of an experiment where I would take 2 contracts, and one contract I would try and swing with, and the other contract I would just take out a tick here and there with. And what would happen is it would go against me, and then I was stuck with both the contracts, and I would take a big loss, and it was a complete disaster. So what I've done instead is when I see a place like that, I just take the one contract, and I'm able to take 2 or 3 ticks out before it goes. And if it doesn't go, then I just get the 2 or 3 ticks. And that's why I have so many. That's why I have such a high win rate, because I got so many of those where I was just able to get the 1 tick. And I still do get on occasion something where I get a -4 like I did yesterday. But we're still working on that. So, you know. But if you were to look at my stats, like overall, it's a little under 50. So I'm not going to say that I'm massively successful. I have like serious problems with the drawdown between March and August time period. So it's just not good trading for me. So yeah. Well, I don't like that it's stopped here. The E-mini is not like fallen off the cliff. At least not yet. I'm really not sure if I'm even going to take another trade today, to be honest. I just kind of feel like I caught a good winner, and now the market is being... The way that the market is behaving is not favorable to me. Like, we're still only 4,300 on in liquidity on the DOM at each level, so there's not like a ton of interest, and there's not very strong trend right now either. We've gone, look at this. It's just it's a little too squiggly. Compare that to the trend that we got, right? That was a trend. It was good. It's nice and cleaning up. Now we're getting this all over the place. It's not right. They're not getting clear DOM signals either. Although there was a change in the DOM and the CB there. So yeah. Probably not going to make too many trades.
Assumers. Island's covering his
Okay, so there's a big sell in the E-mini there. You still short, bud? This ace is still short. I would hope so, because it was 26.65. So that's a good 10 points that you just made there, man. If you're still short. This again, though, is kind of what I was saying earlier about my trade, where I said I think that the bears are going to come in and that could push treasuries up. Well, the bears are coming in. Treasuries are not making a new high. In fact, they're stuck around 10 this time.
humans saying they anymore.
Oh. I guess we're gonna have a shutdown then, because he's not gonna give them shit if they don't give him the wall, man. I really think so. Now 7:55. I guess it's time to have a little chat. But with this wall thing, I really think that the Democrats are making a mistake. So when they had this meeting, Democrats were really energized about it. And they seem to think that Donald Trump accepting responsibility for the shutdown is good. And so I think that at this point, they want the shutdown to happen because they believe that it will be beneficial for them politically. And I don't think that it's going to work that way. I think that the public wants the wall. I think that Donald Trump owning it changes the situation. And if Democrats now turn around and act the way that they just did right now, saying, well, now we're going to be tough and we're just not going to give you anything, he is going to ram them up the butt so hard. I think that they're getting confident and they're overextending. Even if they were right, this would be overextending, but then they're wrong. I don't think this. I think this is going to be really negative for them, and it's going to be very negative for the markets too. Like, this shutdown is going to be very damaging. Well, there was a bit of a reaction there to it. They kind of sold and they came back up to 26.56. So I don't know if that's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen. Are more traders going to pile on? I think that this news is really negative for markets, but I'm not sure if the market is going to realize it yet. Last year they kind of didn't factor that risk of a shutdown in well enough. Let's see, what's Twitter saying? Okay, they kind of turning around now. They're gonna take it. They're gonna go for it now. There's quite a bit of liquidity below us, so I think that they will. I don't know if that's going to result in treasuries making new highs or not. Okay. I mean, she kind of is, though. She wants a time limit on the backstop, I think is what they want, right? I mean, kind of you do want to change it. Okay, hey, look, maybe they're gonna do it. Well, I remember when we came down, I said, well, they did pivot higher than the last thing. And in fact, if I had just held on to my trade, the 0.75, I never would have gone negative, which I really thought I would have. So yeah, they did make a new high there. But already looks like you're getting a pullback. Also, there's a little bit of a conundrum here because if the market is moving on shutdown fears, yes, treasuries move up as the markets move down, but shutdown also potentially hurts the US's credit rating, which would increase rates, which would actually make treasuries move down. So it's the impact of this on treasuries is not quite so clear. It might be why it's not just going straight up. E-mini did go down into those orders, but they bounced off of it. I think that maybe there was too many shorts on that one. I am not Seth CL on T. Sorry, I minimized the chat there for a little bit because I was looking at some other stuff. I anywhere that I am at, I am speculator Seth. So there's a speculator Seth on Twitter. That's me. And I don't trade oil, so. Ah, China is starting soybean purchases. That's good.
To the link. Yeah, saying China buy more.
Block sell.
Okay, so it looks like the market likes this China buying soybeans stuff. I mean, they should. That's the damage that has been done to farmers has been so tremendous, and for that to be gone is a huge burden lifted off of the market. Yeah, this is their 2664 right now. I think that they could go and they may actually go and break that overnight high now. And that would be on a technical basis of extremely positive for stocks. Extremely positive for stocks. And that sell there at 09, I don't know.
Conte's budget.
I cannot justify selling it anymore. And I don't think that I would have been able to sell it back when we were making the high. Well, I suppose I could have on that one, but I think I might just be done for the day, guys. I mean, it was one trade, 5 ticks. Why not? And it might not take very many trades tomorrow because, good grief, I mean, come on. Let's see if Reddit is catching on to any of this stuff.
Keeping an eye on Rudolph here, the
All the way back. I mean, maybe I should be more aggressive and just take it, but I mean, I would be at +3 now if I had taken it when I said I can't take it here because of the risk reward. But look, that's +3. 075 might be a place to stop though. To take a profit. I mean, now we're back to where I bought originally today. Okay, so we are getting a slight pullback now. The E-mini did not make a new high yet. It doesn't look like Reddit has picked up on any of these news stories yet. Okay, so they're not letting it come back up at 8. Everything looks negative.
Read.
I'm sorry I'm not as interesting today. I just don't want to yap. A little. I feel like that my endurance this week has gone down. You know, even though I'm doing really well, it's like do really well, get a good trade, and then get out of it. You know, because then my ability to concentrate and focus goes away. Okay, so now they're breaking the overnight high. It appears they're close. They haven't quite done it. Well, I don't know. I'm surprised that the E-mini did make a new high there, I think, but only just barely. And now they're coming back down again. And they're actually starting to show potentially a head and shoulders. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm still of the opinion that I'm not so sure I want to be involved in this, and especially since we could go back and we could say, hey, I could have shorted this and made some, and I could have taken it from '09 to '07, but I mean it was off of news, so it's not really that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you have to factor that into your probabilities. Could be the time change and early sunset dragging you down. Uh, Maybe. I mean, I haven't been taking some of my ADHD medication this week because I had an appointment last Thursday, and then they didn't fill my prescription. So
So heads up. It's on
hold on.
storage. TF. It's all for the stocks.
So the my main problem is that my nerve cells suck up too much of the neurotransmitters, and so that thing is generally fixed. Because I'm on a SSRI that fixes that, but then I generally just don't have enough of those either, and so that's why I'll take an Adderall once in the morning, like very small amount. And so now, having gone a good 5 days of trading without it, it's kind of been. I can tell, especially when I at the end of the day, it's just like my ability to focus is just gone, and I feel extremely restless, even if I've worked out. Yeah, I need to fix it. But the early sunset is I definitely feel that too, because where I'm at in my building, I don't have any sunlight, and it's not happy. But I don't think that necessarily be affecting my trading. Now, the split side is that because I know that I'm more likely to um, not pay attention or be impulsive when trading, I have been a little bit more cautious, and it's worked out really well for me this week. Not as quite as well as last week, but I mean, we're doing okay. So, I don't know. I kind of think that some of my approaches to risk here have helped. It's just like little tiny things, like that I had gotten in at 0.75 in the beginning instead of like 0.85. That makes a big difference. Your ability to hold it and just that one extra tick matters a lot to your stats. And I think that the further along I get in this venture, the more I feel that the difference between profitable and doing really, really poorly are all subtle things. They're all really small, subtle things. And that's why it's so hard for people to get there, because they don't necessarily know what things to fix, and they're hard to fix. It's just like that. Which price you pick? How do you know which price you bet? How do you filter through the market and figure that out? Like if you don't know anything about stocks or order flow or anything, I think that would take a really long time to figure out on your own. Do you make ARB trading? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I'm going to assume no. So I think even maybe you're still talking about if I'm somebody else, yeah. So all of my stuff is Speculator Seth. So I have Speculator Seth on Twitter, and then if you look in the links in the video, I have a Patreon page where I post cryptocurrency charts every day. Oh, do I make arbitrage? I mean, kind of. I will take one tick trades. I'll say that, right? If I know that I'm in a range, I'll take those one tick trades, but I'm not necessarily arbitraging like one instrument against another or something like that. Or like, looking at the spreads and doing arbitrage off the spreads. I don't really do that. I'm just, the thing that I've changed as of recent is that I've gotten pretty good at seeing when there's two prices that you're likely to get filled on. And so if I'm confident about the direction, then I'll take a trade there, and I'll just take that one. And I'm often able to get it through twice before it like moves up, So, and because I'm only taking that one, it kind of makes you a little bit more cautious. Yes. So I'm not having the momentum just straight up run against me as often as I used to. Anyways. Well, the E-mini, they didn't do like a head and shoulders, but they did break what would have been the neckline, so we're back to it could do anything. Yeah, I got a few things to type, and I'm going to post the notes here.
It's a heads up.
So I'm just noticing that we're getting my 1 tick zipper set up, my 11 tick zipper set up. 11 bar, I should say it's an 11 bar zipper. 11 bar zipper. Well, that really came down. But one, it breaks the 11 tick super setup. And two, Treasuries are not at new highs yet.
That's a draw of 77. Don't them stocks come in as a go to 4.
Uh-huh. I'm glad you realized that. I hope that you guys will take this more seriously and perhaps say, hey, maybe there's something that we can do to ensure that there isn't a complete disaster of a no-deal Brexit, instead of trying to use it to keep them from actually leaving. Because I'm pretty sure at this point that they're going to leave, one way or another. I've been wrong. Like, I should always put an addendum onto that. I do not understand European politics very well. But it just seems to me that they're going one way or another. Those dogs, they want out so badly. Sounds like they can hear the wife moving around. Okay. Right back down to it. Do you see this? I want to show you this. Look at the screen. What do we got here? Yeah, we still got a good number of people here, so I'll show you something. This is a peculiar edge that I've tracked for a long time. And it changes, and I've noticed a change in it this week. So you'll get these sorts of things like this. See that? Where this price right here will essentially be like, that will go bid and offer a lot, and they won't put a whole lot bid or offer there, you know? Like in ZN, it'll only be like 500 will be bid or offered here. And they'll trade into this, but there's usually an iceberg here or here. And if they do trade out of it, nobody will want to buy the next price, and it'll come back down. So you get stuck in this like 3-tick range, essentially. Okay? So here's one right here. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bars. And when it's 11, there is a probability that it will reverse based on what the tick before it was. And it's something like 60 to 80% of the time you will get this, and 60% of the time you will get this. Okay? But what has been happening lately is this thing right here. You see this one right here? It will jump up. There will be a gap, and it'll jump up, and then they will just... And look, they did it here too. So they broke the 11 tick zipper. You got this thing. And then we had a pretty strong 5-tick move down. Very interesting. This is not the first time that I've seen this either. It did it yesterday. Let's see if we can find it yesterday. Let's clear out all of our little things. So yesterday, where was it yesterday? May have been... There's a gap right there. So there's kind of one, but it didn't quite do the same thing. Maybe it was the day before that was the one that I thought was really strong. Yes, it was right here. You see this area right here? They did it multiple times. They pushed it out, and there's a false breakout, and then it went the other way. So I don't think that this is a good long-term edge, but it's something that this particular market has been doing a lot. Here's another one. Kind of similar sort of a thing, see? They zippered here. They false break out lower. And then that actually ended up being false, and it moved the other way. It's very ugly, really. So these are places like, if you want to get filled on something, you can do it there. But now it seems like that the big guys are like jockeying for position there and screwing each other over. Yeah. Anyways, so we made 5 ticks today. Yay. I'm happy with it. And yeah, that's about it. I hope that you guys had a good session. I think some of you guys had a few good trades in there. Pretty volatile market. Decent number of people watching today too. So thank you for watching. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is just a notification. Oh, thank you for watching, Wrong. I'm a new guy in this week, and he's been on almost every day, so thank you. By the way, if you guys haven't visited the Discord, visit the Discord. If you've never used Discord before, you should try it. The chat room is awesome. And of course, the Bitcoin charts that are posted on Patreon. I post them every day. there's this very significant edge in it, I believe. And I've made some good money doing it. So made almost $1,000 on the last cryptocurrency run without investing any of my own money in it. So yeah, worth checking out. If Bitcoin ever moves up again, and there's no guarantee, but if it ever does, that thing is going to show us that the right spot to buy. So okay, I will see you guys